Okay, there's a couple of things about greatest common factoring that you guys need to be aware of. And I've already written this down for you, but we are going to practice it significantly before we move on to the next kind of factoring, which we are going to do today. The next kind of factoring is that drawing of trinomials that we did last day, but we're going to eschew the drawing. We are not going to use it anymore, and we are simply going to do that algebraically. Okay? So since you're all very, very good at this, we are going to rocket through this page, and then we're going to get into this thing that actually causes people a bit of grief. All right? Okay. So here we go. First thing, greatest common factor. There's a couple of things to remember about greatest common factoring when you have polynomials. The first thing you need to remember is this. It is the reverse of distribution. Which means, since distribution is all multiplication, since that is all multiplication, then greatest common factoring must be all division. Okay? Now, the next thing you need to remember is this. Always, and I've written this down elsewhere in your notes, always try this first. You may need to factor further. Okay? Who remembers the 3 steps to GCFing? We've only done it with pictures right now. Who remembers the 3 steps to doing a GCF algebraically? We just did it. What?
First find the GCF.
Right. 1. Find the GCF. Where will you screw up? Where will your problems be?
Finding not the greatest common factor.
You can do it with the numbers easily enough. But what must you remember to include?
The variables.
The variables. Find the GCF including variables. So if you're going to include the variables, you better remember your exponent laws, yes? Step 2.
Divide.
Divide what?
The number by...
Divide by the GCF. And step 3?
Write out.
Write it out. GCF quotient 1, oops, not quotient over 1. You've got them written down already, but I want you to write them again. Quotient plus or minus, quotient, and so on. Okay?
Oui.
This is so important that you guys see this as something you take as a first step. All right? Now I have 4 there that are super easy to do. They should take about 2 seconds each. So I should be able to start counting down from 10 and have all the answers from you guys by then. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. How many people are done? Not bad. Not bad. Everybody good? Notice how I didn't write the steps. I just did them in my head. Why?
They're easy.
Because that's where math is done. In your head. Everybody good? Now, of course, if I were to write it out, what would it look like? 5 5x plus 5. GCF is 5. Rewrite it as 5x plus 1. This is something that you guys screw up all the time. Because you have been taught that cancels. So you think it just disappears.
Wow.
Canceling is not disappearing. Canceling is any division that equals 1. Okay? So you have to remember this is 1. It is not nothing. Okay? And you can always check it by checking the distribution. Is that going to be 5x plus 5? Yes. If you make that 0, it's going to be 5x. And you needed 5x plus 5, right? So this one, of course, would have been 6x plus 3 over 3 and over 3 to get 3, 2x plus 1, and so on and so on and so on. I don't need to do it, do I? All right. Now, there are some tricky, sneaky ones in here, right? This should not take very long. I'm not going to time you, because that stresses people out. But this should not take very long, should it? With the numbers this small. Go. Please remember, you are welcome to make this process your own. You do not have to do it exactly as I do. So in a perfect math teacher world, what would you write right now under all these? If you were showing me all the work you could possibly show me and doing none of it in your head, what would you write now?
5.
5? X. Why only 1x?
Because the 15 doesn't know why.
15's got no y, and 25 only has 1x to give, yes?
Yeah.
Now, in a perfect world, you would write it twice, 3 times, yeah?
Yeah.
But I don't need to see that. I trust you guys. So the GCF goes out here, and what are all my answers? 5y plus 3x minus 6xy squared. Is everybody happy? Now, could I monkey with the order there? I don't care. Don't waste your time. Alright? When would you waste your time? On the provincial, if what you write isn't actually there. Do you understand me? If you leave it in this order, the order it's written, right? Because the order it's written is wrong, isn't it? Right? Then you check. Kale.
Oh, I was just going to ask a question. How do you know that?
How do you know?
Well, I was just going to ask why you have 5y and 2x.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Just because it is technically factored now, right? The only time you would care about order is if your answer is not there on the provincial. Then you worry about it. Cool? Okay. What's my GCF here? 2. So 2 goes on the outside, and I get 4 plus 5a plus 3a squared. Now, as of right now, that's done.
Yeah.
As of right now. But look closely. That's a trinomial, yeah?
Yeah.
So that is the type of thing, as we go further into the unit, you may need to factor this. And I will tell you right now, it does indeed factor further. Okay, but you guys don't know how to do it yet. Okay? This is a big problem. on the provincial. They give you a question that has 2 or 3 layers of factoring. And you do the first one, you see your answer, and you're like, yeah, boy, and you circle A. Even though it could go further. Okay? Don't fall for that. All right, next one. Tricky. Why? They're all negative. Right? So what's coming out? Negative 5. C, D. And inside stays 4, C cubed, plus, good, I didn't fool anybody there, 6, C squared D, plus 5. Excellent, I fooled no one there. This one.
Yeah, 3x plus 2.
1. If we divide by 1, is it going to change?
No.
Nope. So this stays the same. It does not factor.
Sweet. Does it?
What if it was this? Then the negative comes out. This would be negative 1, 3x plus 2y. And would I write that one? It would be negative bracket 3x plus 2y. Everybody cool? Alright. Let's go on. This is for tomorrow. So write on it right now. This is going to be part of your work. Due Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
It is not, it actually is Taco Tuesday at Taco Del Mar on Tuesday. 3 tacos for $10, I think.
Tacos! I want Taco Bell then. They took it down after the night.
Guys, you go all the way till the next thing. That's the assignment. It goes until factoring polynomials in Boudmo Jiggler. That's the name of that font, Boudmo Jiggler. You do all of the assignment B5. This, as when we get to Boudmo Jiggler, is our next set of notes.
Boudmo Jiggler. Boudmo. I think you say that word.
Alright, so, if this is number 2, what's the first type of factoring you learned?
Greatest common factor.
Right. Number 1 is GCF. We cannot forget him.
Are we moving on? Are we not?
Yes, we are moving on to notes.
Moving on.
All right. So looking at that right now, you guys should be able to tell me that answer in literally 1 second. Without foiling. What is it? X squared plus 10x plus 24. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to do a bunch of math terminology here. So please pay attention. This is what we call a non-leading coefficient trinomial. I'm not going to make you write all that down. But I am going to do this. This is written in general form. When I use the word general form, that means what they always look like. And they always look like this. ax squared plus bx plus c. Now you can see that right there. You have the same scenario here, right? ax, you have the coefficient with the x squared variable. We have that here. What is this coefficient? 1. Cool? This term is called the quadratic term. It is not important until next year. Alright? This term is important. it is called the linear term. And this term is called the constant. Now you will also find textbooks and worksheets and things that refer to these three as A, B, and C, all capital. They are used interchangeably, so please be aware of them. Understand? All right. Now, pretend you had to teach me how to expand this in as few words as possible. What would you do? Talk to your neighbor about it. Tell me how you got this answer in as few words as possible using as many technical terms as possible. Do you understand what I'm asking you to do?
Yeah.
You don't have to write anything down.
No,
just
quadrant.
try it. Go.
Quadratic. Use A, B, and C. Dude, it's so much easier. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. It's easy. See what me, guys.
Okay, so you take x times, then you take 4 and 6, then you plus them, and then to make the quadratic term, you have to plus the x's. Add. I'm trying to sound smart.
Well, then you have to do like the nautical thing or whatever like that.
To make the quadratic term,
Parveen.
you have to multiply
Yes.
x.
Can you sit up properly?
Okay. Would anyone like to try it?
Oh, fuck.
Say what they came up with their partners. Anyone? Going once. Going twice. Wow, that hurts, guys. That really hurts.
We don't need to.
All right, first of all, when can you use the shortcut? Because I want it as quickly as possible.
When there's x's.
Right. Absolutely right. So, step one, there's no coefficient. With x. Does it have to be an x?
No.
Could be a y, could be an a, could be a q, could be a lightning bolt, whatever. There's no coefficient. Step two, we add the constants to get what? To get the linear term. And three, we multiply the constants to get what? To get the constant term. What else could you have put there? The B and the C. Is everyone cool with that? Is everyone cool?
Yeah.
All right. So, if that's expansion, what would you do to factor?
Opposite.
The exact opposite. So we would go backwards. I need to find, if I am going to figure this out, I need my thinking. I need two numbers that do what? Multiply to 18 and add to 7. Look closely at that and tell me if that is absolutely 100% correct. Negative 18, thank you. Now you've got to figure it out. And what are they? What are two numbers that multiply to 18?
60.
1 and 18, are they going to get to 7? No. 2 and 9, are they going to get to 7?
Yes.
Yes. How?
-2
-2
plus
plus 9. Yeah? So I'm done. X minus 2, X plus 9. And then we check. Is -2 plus 9, 7? Yeah. Is -2 times 9 -18?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it okay to do this? No, why? Because 2 plus -9 would get me -7, and I need +7. Does everybody see how it works? We just reverse the order. So over here, remember, we did this with drawing. I don't care. We're doing it with algebra. What do I have to multiply to? -8, and what do I have to add to? -2. What are the numbers?
4 and... No. 4 and...
4 and 2? 4 and 2 will get me to 2 in some way, won't it? -4, +2.
Oh, it's somewhat right. So I can see this right.
Does everyone see how to do it?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Let's do the next one.
Look at C. What must I multiply to? 35. What must I add to? -12. What is it? -5 and -7. Now you guys should be able to look at those three and find yourself a handy-dandy little shortcut for memorizing what your signs are going to be in your finished binomials.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it because I don't want to confuse you. But you should be able to spot something that will help you out further along. Do you all see it? I'm not going to say it out loud, but I am going to say it out loud. Parveen? The squareds become x's. Excellent. And what do I do? What do you notice about this negative? And this negative, what did that mean for the binomials? I needed one of each. When it's positive, I needed them the same. What if this guy was positive? Then what would these be?
Different.
If they were both positive, what would these be?
Positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. I got it.
Now, look at this one carefully. What do I need to multiply to?
20.
-20. What do I need to add to? 12. What's the answer? Everyone says 10 and 2. Is that correct?
Yes.
If that's negative, it must be a plus 10 and a minus 2, or a minus 10 and a plus 2, correct? Well, check. What's 10 minus 2?
9.
8. Does that work? No. What's -10 plus 2? -8. Does that work? No. So is this factorable? No, even though it looks like it. I guarantee on your test, I am going to give you a trinomial that looks factorable, and half of you are going to try to do something with it. D and F does not factor. Is everybody good? All right, that's the basics. Do you think anything changes with looks? Of course not. Turn the page over and let's do some different looks. What's different about E?
There's a Y.
It's a Y instead of an X. Believe it or not, I have math students that tell me they cannot do that question because it's not an X.
silly dumb.
What is it?
It actually disappoints me.
It disappoints you? Try being me. Is that negative? So what do we know about the signs? Excellent. What do I got to multiply to? What do I got to add to? What is it? -7, +2. 7, 2, done.
Wow.
All right. Now look at F. What's different? There's a leading coefficient. Do we have a trick that gets rid of leading coefficients? Dividing it out, which is called
It's on back there.
GCF. Because that's the first thing that we should always try. Is there a GCF here?
Yeah.
What is it?
4.
Out comes 4, and I rewrite it. 4x squared minus 5x minus 14, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, please notice that's exactly the same as E, isn't it?
Oh, whoa. Wow. So, yeah, good, cool.
So, now here's where you're going to make a mistake. Do I need to keep factoring?
Yes.
Of course I do, because I've already done this question, haven't I? Now, many of you are going to leave poor Mr. 4. You're going to forget about him. You cannot. 4x plus 2, x minus 7. You cannot forget 4. On your provincial, A will be the 2 and 7. D will be 4x plus 2, x minus 7. Or maybe switched in order. It might be x minus 7, x plus 2. You have to look. Okay? If I were writing the choice for your provincial, these would be what it looked like. Don't write this down. It would be A would be x plus 2, x minus 7. B would be x minus 2, x plus 7. C would be 4x minus 2, x plus 7. And D would be 4x plus 2, x minus 7. That would be what I would choose for your 4 choices. And I would catch a great many people on that question. What's the right answer? Of course it is D. Gouda?
Yeah.
All right. So look at G and tell me what's weird.
120.
Leading coefficient. So what do we do to get rid of it? Factor out what?
10.
10. Can I forget about Mr. 10?
No.
No. X squared plus 8x plus 12. Now what do I need to multiply to? 12. And what do I need to add to? 8. What is it? 6 plus 2. Cool? Barf-tastic.
Sure.
What about H? There's a leading negative coefficient, so what should I do? Divide by -4. T squared. Trick here, what is it? Plus 4t. Trick here, what is it? Negative 32. Now what do I got to multiply to? Negative 32. And what do I got to add to? 4. Do I forget about Mr. Negative 4? No. And in here, since that's negative, it must be t plus, t minus, yeah? What is it? Will 1 and 32 get me there? 2 and 16? 4 and 8? Which one?
Negative.
Negative 8, positive 4. Because 4 minus 8 would get me positive 4. Yes? 4 minus 8 is positive 4. Right, so what do I need to do? Switch the signs. Minus 4 plus 8. Now am I happy?
Yeah.
Check, check, check. It takes 1 second. Ew, what's weird about I?
Negative.
There's no.
We're an expert.
It's not in general form, is it, Ranveer? It's easy to fix though, isn't it? What term goes first? D squared. Negative D squared. What term goes next? Negative 5D. What term goes next? Great, now what's ugly about it?
Negative.
It's negative, so what comes out? Negative. What stays in? All those signs change. Now what do I got to multiply to? And what do I got to add to?
5.
5. What is it? Will 1 and 24 get me there? 8 and 3 wants to get me there, doesn't it? But it has to both be positive, don't they? Will 8 plus 3 ever get to 5? So am I done? I'm done. That's the only factoring you can do with that. Does everybody see why?
Yeah.
Well, all of you want to say 8 and 3, right? Yeah. So that's the only way you could possibly get to 5. But it would have to be 8 minus 3, wouldn't it? And wouldn't 8 minus 3 get me negative 24? So I can't do it. Picking up what I'm putting down? Oh, good gravy. What's going on in J?
There's a B and there's a B.
There's 2 variables. Well, when there was 1 variable, the final answer ended up with T and T. So Oi! Anyone? Thanks, Ranveer. You're on fire today. When there's 2 variables, what do you think the second term of the binomial is going to be? Gonna be
A B.
a B. Yeah. So it's still going to be V and V, and that's negative. So it's going to be plus and minus. And at the end, I'm going to need a B and a B, aren't I?
Yeah.
But do you think anything else changes?
No.
No. What do I need to multiply to? Negative 20, and what do I need to add to?
19.
19. This is the one that everyone screws up because they always forget one pair of factors. 1 and 20.
Oh. 1 and 20.
Right? Plus 20b minus how many b's?
1.
Do I write one?
No.
No. So it's done.
It's done.
Does everybody see? Can I still check it? V times V, V squared, 20 minus 1, 19, 20 times negative 1, negative 20. It looks different. Are the rules different?
No.
Never, ever, ever. That's the lovely thing about math. It never doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, what's weird? 2 variables again. So I'm going to need an x and a y in my final answer, yeah? But does anything else change? No. What do I got to multiply to? Negative 28 and add to what?
12.
12. Now this one screws people up because it goes beyond the 12 times table, doesn't it? Right? If Mrs. Bad Crumble made you memorize up to the 12 times table, you're aces. But this goes beyond that, doesn't it? What is it? Okay, I have an answer.
So if it's a positive, you change it into negative?
If what's a positive?
The pot in question?
The which? Okay. So it's x and x, and we know we need a y. Now, what are the factors? 14 and 2. How will I write that? Do I need a positive 14 or a negative 14?
Negative.
I need a positive 14y and a negative 2y. Because 14 minus 2 gets me 12. Buddha? Great. Whoa! What's wrong with L? Look closely. There's two things wrong with L.
It's out of order.
There's a b cubed. And do I start with a squared term? No. So what's the thing that bugs me in this trinomial?
It's not in Gen term.
That b bugs me. So what do I do to get rid of it?
God.
Factor it out. Divide by what? B. So what's going to be outside the brackets? B. And what's inside the brackets? A squared minus AB minus 20b squared. Now, what do I got to multiply to? Negative 20. What do I got to add to? What kind of one? Negative 1. What are they? I'll let you think about it for a while. Two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add the negative 1. 5 and 4. Which one? What's positive?
4.
Right. Plus 4b minus 5b. Okay?
Yeah.
Now guys, please listen to me. It's about this time in every class I teach of Math 10 that about 2/3 of the class starts thinking they can't do this because 1/3 of the class starts seeing these two numbers quicker. And you start to think if you're one of the a member of that 2/3 that doesn't see those factors as fast, you start getting down on yourself because somebody else is, you think they're doing the math better than you, but are they? No, they just happen to know their times tables on a different level than you do. I'm going to give you an example. This stuff used to be in grade 9. And I had about 6 years ago a kid in my grade 9 class. What's 3 plus 4? I don't know.
7.
What's 10 times 2? I don't know. What's 3 times negative 4? I have no idea. Okay, that's the level of computational ability this kid had. Y'all with me? We got to factoring, and I would say two numbers that multiply to negative 20 and add to 1, negative 5 and 4. Two numbers that add to 17 and multiply to 72, 8 and 9. I'm not joking. He was some kind of weird Rain Man thing. Because the kid couldn't add 5 and 8. But he could see how to factor like that. Except he couldn't write down the right answer. He could only come up with the two numbers. And then he'd be like, yep. I'd be like, write it down. Don't know how. Okay. So I would send all the other kids to him. Right? Two numbers that multiply to 132 and add to 1. 12 and 11. Like, it was automatic. It was the weirdest thing. Couldn't do anything else in math. Nothing. Nothing. Not one thing. Except find the two factors needed to factor a trinomial. And then not be able to actually factor a trinomial. Love that kid. What's weird about M? Look close. It's x to the 4th. Now when it was x squared, it was x and x. So when it's x to the fourth, what is it? X squared and x squared, because squared times squared will get me x to the fourth. Does anything else change?
No.
No. What do I need to multiply to?
50.
50. What do I need to add to?
Negative 15.
Negative 15. What is it?
2. Yeah.
Negative 5 and negative 10. Nothing changes. No matter what it looks like. What's weird about n? There's a 0. Would we ever write that? There's a reason I've written it that will become apparent to you tomorrow. But right now, for today's work, what do I need to multiply to? Look closer. Negative 9. And add to what?
0.
So what are they?
Negative 9. No. Wait. I'm thinking.
Negative 3, positive 3.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay? Now look closely at O. Does O look just like N?
Oh, yeah.
Can you spot the shortcut?
Yeah.
X? Yeah. So what is it? X plus 25, X minus 25. Yeah? Now, I'm drawing a red line because red is danger, 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 Will Robinson, danger. Does that share some characteristics with this? What are the characteristics that P shares with O? Well, P's got a circle but a tail. O doesn't. But seriously, folks.
8 is just 2 zeros on top of each other.
That's right. You've been sitting beside me too much.
But seriously, folks.
Divide.
It's got nothing to do with the 8.
You can divide.
Squared?
Yeah.
Squared.
No.
Squared?
Yeah.
Squared.
Oh. Correct.
Ah. So you know when they're both squared and they're negative, it's plusy minusy. But they're both squared and they're positive.
Minus.
Plusy plusy.
Yes.
That's for Noah, guys. X plus what?
Correct.
4 and x plus 4.
See, you're saying it now, so it's correct.
Plus, you have to say, you don't say 4 adding 4.
Yeah, you always say plus.
Is everybody comfy cozy?
Yeah.
Okay, now guys, you will notice in your notes that there are pages and pages of factoring practice. You will notice on your outline that there is factoring practice. I can't stress this enough. This is a useless real-life skill, but this is more important to higher-level math. I lied. I'm going to change it around. This is the most important thing to higher level math that you have done since grade 3 Mrs. Bad Crumble, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay? Useless in real life. When I go out to a cocktail party, I do not factor trinomials. Okay? When I am driving down the street and a deer jumps out in front of me, I do not say, oh my God, I have to factor x squared minus 18x plus 36. No, those are useless skills in real life. But when I am faced with more math, I better know how to factor. And for all of you, there are at least 2 more math courses for which you will be responsible. So you've got to be good at this. Understand? That is why there is seemingly so much practice, both in your notes and textbook work. Okay? So, from your outline, this, page 166, has the answers. Start there. Make sure you're good. Okay? If you feel comfortable with ones in the regular form, like this, then don't do any questions on 166 that are in regular form. Do the ones that look like this. That you've got to do a couple of extra steps with. Understand? Then, go back to your notes. Now, the first thing I want done for tomorrow is just expansion and GCFing. That's it. You don't need any extra practice on that. You may want to start with that, because that's due tomorrow. The other thing I want you to have done for tomorrow is assignment 2, factoring. That font is Casino Queen. And it is only, I believe for you guys, page 12. 14. Okay?
Yes, sir.